Welcome to the Kpopcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, and I'm joined by our resident K-pop DJ, P-Lo.
Hello. Yes, hello, everybody.
Miss you, Michaela. Shout out. And welcoming to the show for the very first time, we have a special guest, Remy.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Remy, we are so glad to have you. Just to give you a little background on Remy, she is an editor at Soul Beats, one of the biggest K-pop news sites in the world. She's been doing
one of the best ones. Not just the biggest one of the best ones.
Yeah.
K-pop editorial, excuse me.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, guys. We are the best, I agree.
And she's also a full-time MBA student at Duke.
Go to hell, Duke.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Take that back.
We got
I'm working off the podcast.
I have to say that as my wife went to UNC Chapel Hill, so sorry.
All right. Well, I'm loving that we've got the haterade flowing because the song we're reviewing today is all about that, all about the haterade and the haters. That's right. We're talking about Epic High Rosario.
Ain't no one dying today.
And we truly punked all our listeners. You thought we were going to do a hit replay this week. We thought we were going to do a hit replay this week. And then last minute we said, you know what? Epic High's Rosario is like hella K-pop. We have to talk about this song. So, you know what? We're going to throw all you listeners a bone who gave us a hit replay. We chose one listener to feature on this episode as we talk about Epic High's Rosario. And that listener highlight is... Stephanie, do you want to introduce our listener?
Drum roll.
It is none other than our buddy, best pal, Virginia Dwan, aka the Mandarin Mama. Hey, hey. And her hit replay is Epic High's End of the World and Rosario and the whole damn album.
So when she tweeted that, I asked her, and why, Virginia? Because that's always our question. You have to provide your rational why, and I included a gif of Suga asking why.
Yes, because we always do critical thinking on the K-pop cast. We keep it highbrow.
And using a gif of Suga is the best way to win my love. So well done.
Oh, okay. Pro tip for all of you in the audience if you want to win over Remy.
And Virginia continued by saying, I never answer why because too much brain power. Anyway, I love Rosario because it's Bamphy for I had to go look that up. Badass mother effery. And I love End of the World because it excoriates. Ooh, love that word. Excoriates the industry and is just so savage. And also, it sounds amazing.
I want you to love me like it's the end of the world. No one else above me. Nobody else you prefer. Cause we got this thing I wanna trust. Even if it falls apart, I want you to love me like it's the end of the world.
So, we chose a hit replay that was aligned with the episode focus for this episode. Before we dive into the song, what background do we need to know? Like, what's the context and the stage and the setting of this comeback?
All right, so the TLDR on this comeback is that Rosario is the first title track to part 1 of Epic High's 10th studio album. Epic High is here. Rosario features huge K-pop industry superstars.
Who
CL.
paved the way.
Yeah, paved the way is right. CL, the baddest female, and Ziako. Two are my favorite artists in the scene. I was just so pumped to see that this song was going to come out with these artists collaborating. I was like, oh my God.
So Tableau shared with MTV that we were anomalies when we started. As time went on and other people started experimenting with different sounds in hip hop, we became more accepted. So that's just a little bit of background on the song that he shared.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Start from the bottom, now we're here.
Hey.
So let's talk about the concept of this interesting song. I mean, I think it's a big reason why we chose to talk about it today. And I think we want to center our conversation around, did they indeed pave the way for those who paved the way, who paved the way, who paved the way?
Right. When they said, I paved the way for those that are paving the way, I was just like, wow, we could have a round of this song for every K-pop generation there is. Are we on generation like 5 or 6 at this point? So much K-pop inspired by the older idols. And but Epic High has been doing it for what, 15, 17 years? Like,
honestly, I found it incredibly interesting that they chose to use this language because we all know this. K-pop fans argue so much over who paved the way. And I'm an ARMY. I admit it outright that the fandom I'm part of really loves to use this language. BTS paved the way. So the use of this language, I think, is very relevant, very pertinent, and I am appreciative of them inserting these particular words into the song.
Well, I want to call out that BTS even acknowledged specifically that Epic High paved the way for them. So if you're ARMY, you just gotta take it from your lords and saviors themselves.
I definitely think there are artists that paved the way, and then BTS have paved that way a little longer, like a little further. They've taken it further. That's how I like to think of it. There are artists that made some inroads, and then these guys, BTS, came in and made that road longer. That's how I would think of it.
Ooh. Okay.
When we're talking about the message and the aesthetics of this song, I think we're getting this idea, according to the Korea Herald, that Rosario tells people to stand in their confidence by snapping back at naysayers who wish for others' misfortune and failure. Totally get that vibe.
Yeah. I last night watched the little documentary film about the album that Epic High put together. It's very short and sweet. I recommend people go check it out on their official channel. And for this one, DJ Tukuts was talking about Rosario and said that he is usually a shy, quiet person, but when he's getting ready to go out on stage, he kind of psychs himself up, pumps himself up by telling himself, like, I am a legend, I am the best, I'm the greatest. And that's what he's hoping that other people will feel when they listen to this song. That screw the haters, I am the best. Nega 제일 잘 나가.
That's why CL is on it, right?
I know, right? Like, how can you not feel that energy from the song? But with people who are really doing it.
And just to add, I read on Rolling Stone that Pablo said at some point that Rosario is the soundtrack that plays when you get your sweet revenge on your biggest enemy.
Oh, yeah.
I totally hear that, yeah.
And to the point that Peter raised about Rosario telling people to stand in their confidence by snapping back at naysayers, I think Zico really took the opportunity to do that in this song. He has some really interesting lyrics where let me read it out. That's right. Not being the best is the only impossible thing for me. Zico is over on his high horse and now he's fallen off. But not even a year later, I swallowed up all of melon. If you hate it, come attack me. He's basically, I think here he's referring to the whole controversy with the golden phone and Jung Jun Young, that he had supposedly seen the contents of the golden phone and he got a lot of hate for it. And here he's saying, not even a year later, I've come back and swallowed melon with any song. So that's Zico using his own example to stand up to naysayers.
There's so much power in that, right? Because the haters can only have power over you if you yourself feel ashamed and shrink because of it. But if you throw it back in their face and name the thing that you're supposedly ashamed of and it doesn't hurt you anymore, then you have all the power back. I really like that message of the song.
So I reached out to K-pop academic Haejin Lee, PhD, who is a clinical assistant professor at the Annenberg School of Communication and Journalism at USC.
USC, yeah.
By the way, we also interviewed her for something that we haven't yet put out. But I asked her about her take on the comments and lyrics of the song, and she had 3 really cool points that I wanted to read for us and our listeners. So number 1, the message of the song reminds her of Epic High's Born Hater, even though the language is tamer in Rosario. She gets the sense that Tablo is still reeling from the pain he suffered in Tajino. Did I pronounce that right, Stephanie?
Tajino.
Tajino.
Yeah.
And the hate he received from that experience. I think he is also referring to the criticisms he received from the controversy involving Super B in Show Me the Money a few years back. Tablo said that he's living with the same trauma from Tajino, and it will always haunt him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to express that in his music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a way of healing. Yeah. I mean, I think within the trauma healing or mental health space, like facing what happened to you full on and sitting with it and experiencing it and expressing it is one of the recognized steps to healing from it. And for those of you who followed Tablo's story and saw what he went through, like that is serious. It will take years, if not a lifetime, to recover from. So hats off to him for taking healing into his own hands and like blessing us all with the gifts of the process.
Just to add, I really feel that when they give us these kinds of gifts, if we may talk about it that way, I feel like it's also very healing for me. Like when I have a bad day, these are the songs I listen to, and their anger kind of helps me vent my own anger in a safe manner, not at another person, but just through the music.
Yep. And just one last comment from Heijin here. One wordplay that really stood out to her that was noticeable in Rosario was Zico's verse where he raps, "I'm Catholic, so even in the face of death, I never lost faith in my art." Art in Korean is pronounced as yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a really cool call out that Yesul and Yesul for art and Yesu for Jesus like sound very similar. So he was making a word play.
Yep, a word play in that in the face of death, I never lost faith in Jesus. So, and he raps that he's Catholic because he is.
Honestly, I think there's plenty of interesting references to Catholicism or Christianity in general. You know, I find the title itself really interesting, Rosario, which is apparently is it Latin? Is it Italian? A way of saying rosary.
Yeah,
and
rosary.
I guess it's like saying that your naysayers are in a way your devotees because they're following you. They're like taking that time to comment on you. So they're kind of like devotees in a way. But you can also maybe think of them as sinners. I don't know. I'm basically sensing a lot of contempt coming through just from the use of the title Rosario. Yeah, that I find very interesting.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating take. I mean, who's really in control? You know, who really has the power in that dynamic? Okay, well, what do you guys think of the visuals? Like, again, a lot of people have said it's similar vertical phone format from Born Hater. What do you guys make of that?
I think that, you mentioned like there are plenty of similarities. Like you noted the whole that as if it's shot on a phone, that is very similar to Born Hater. Similar to Born Hater also is the narrow rooms that they're in. Yes. Born Hater also has really narrow walls. So this one. I think so.
It's like exactly the same size room.
I think so. It might actually just be the same set. And, the only difference that I really feel is that there's much better lighting. I mean, of course, other than the aesthetics of the room, there's much better lighting. And
you mean that no cockroaches?
And I think that might actually imply that they think that things have gotten worse since 2014 when Born Hater was released. Because Born Hater, at least the video has a very cheerful vibe. The song itself has much more energy. Whereas Rosario is a little more subdued. The MV is pretty dark visually. And I would argue that it seems that they're saying that 2014 things were bad for celebrities, but over the years, it's just gotten worse.
Yeah.
I got I don't know, Peter probably can correct me or build on this, but I got a noir and Tarantino vibe from what I was seeing, and also elements of The Shining.
Oh, yeah, especially from the axe scene.
The axe scene, the Here's Johnny, where Mithra was chopping down the door. So taking a lot of inspiration from classic Western film. I think, to, I don't know, bring up the level of sophistication or darkness and imply that there's, I don't know, a deeper plot going on. That's what I got from the visual elements.
Also, Mitra breaking down the door like that's definitely him paving the way.
Right, yeah. Very forcefully.
Well,
breaking down barriers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. I mean, you've got to overcome that if you're going to make it in this field. But the other big thing about this whole narrow effect is that it's very linear. You know, like one thing precedes the other, which leads to another. And there's no way around it in that narrow, claustrophobic hallway that this music video takes place in. And on the point of linearity, I mean, it starts off with seeing Tablo as a ghost, right? Like, or not literally as a ghost, maybe implied ghost.
Like a dead body with a shot.
Yeah,
his heart.
I mean, that whole image made me laugh, to be honest, because it reminded me of so many Vanas MVs or like N-Hyphen as vampires in their debut MV.
Right, because his outfit, right?
Yeah, it's very much like one of the younger idols.
He had on like Tablo, like how old is he now? But he had on like
40,
the white flowy wispy blouse and tight black pants. Yeah, it totally reminded me of those new boy bands that are coming out.
And just want to say Tablo's a good looking man. I mean, sure, he's 40. He can pull off that new boy band look.
Yeah.
But we see the roles kind of get reversed. You killed this person, you're going down this hallway, you think it's in the past, but it comes to shoot you and get you in the end. And that's how the music video ends, because Tablo is no longer in white, he's in black at the end to shoot you in the end. And that's why we have that scene of like, you know, Tablo is about to shoot you. You wake up because you know it's coming. You know this past sin that you had is gonna get you in the end.
Yeah, that scene was super cool where Tukuts is laying in bed and he's trying to sleep, but he's tossing and turning. He can't. His karma, his misdeeds are catching up with him.
And that was so powerful. I mean, it's so visceral. Like, like when that gunshot happened, like, didn't you have a similar, like, waking up from a nightmare feeling?
I mean, it makes you feel like you got shot at least twice in the music video. He like points it directly at you. I was like, woof, woof. This is not good for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
And at the end, Tablo shoots himself with a remote control.
Yeah, with the remote control.
Yeah, I think that's also, again, just, you know, naysayers to celebrities. I feel like there's the whole song, they're taunting their naysayers. They're saying they paved the way. We have this music video with all of this linearity. And, you know, CL's in a room with flowers, paintings of flowers. So it looks like she's walking on a path with flowers on the side, whatever. You can say everything. But at the end of the video, there's a moment of silence. That's the last lyric. And then, you know, all of them, they're just looking sad and they're looking downcast and they're sitting in their chairs or standing in their rooms. If you just look at the expressions, they look really down. And Tablo shoots himself with the remote control. So it's like he's saying that, you know, I'm at the end, they're kind of contradicting their own message because they're saying that, yeah, you know, we are taunting you. We're the legends. We're paving the way. But you have this easy power. You can just turn off the remote control, switch a different channel, whatever. And so at the end of the day, I mean, to me, it felt like they were contradicting their own message. It's the very end.
Of all the artists and musicians that we've seen in K-pop, I think these guys recognize their own limitations. I think they've even struggled with their own challenges and coming to grips with their limitations. And maybe that's just them acknowledging their own personal faults and ability. As much as they play up one direction, still at the end of the day, it's in the hands of others. I don't know.
I mean, to bring it back to healing, to mental health, to trauma, if your first response is to the haters and the people who harmed you is anger and like to get revenge on them, to fight them, chop them up, then after you do that is when the sadness, the hurt sets in, right? And
Interesting
you see
point.
this in countless movies that after the revenge is committed, you don't
empty.
just keep going on there's emptiness, there's sadness that sets in there. Like you need to pass through the stage of anger to sit with the pain and hurt that's there and continue to heal. So yeah, I think all of those could be what they're trying to show because they've been through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are people that have really been through the absolute, the grinder.
The ringer.
Yeah, the ringer. That's the word.
And the meat grinder, right?
Yeah. One small critique I have in the visuals of the song is I just wish I could see more CL.
Yeah, what the heck?
I think CL is honestly probably overcoming her own body issues right now and is being really conservative in how much she shows of herself. But like, man, girl, just own it. Like, just we're not going to judge you.
We aren't going to judge, but as they rightly point out, there are plenty of naysayers there ready to judge
right.
her.
Yeah, we did see her in the hallway and in brighter light. So I wonder if this was an intentional stylistic choice for the
silhouette,
the art to have her in silhouette. Like, what could that mean?
I don't know.
I mean, the fact... No, I was just thinking about, if you think about it, like she steps out of a painting, and if I recall, at the end, she settles back into that painting.
Yep.
So it's like saying, I don't know, that she's maybe... I mean, there are a few things that come to mind. Maybe we can say that naysayers are only seeing a painted version of her and not seeing the true her.
Yeah, there's definitely play here with two-dimensional versions of her. So one, I like that. One is the painting that's just this static image that everybody can hate on because like that's not a real person. And then one is the silhouette, maybe like after she's gone or like dead or quit the industry. She's this ghost, right?
Oh.
Still not a full human being. But the lyrics are, hey, I'm a legend. I'm not dead. I'm coming back. So that's the scenes where she's in the hallway. I'm still here. But yeah, maybe it does represent that. Like being driven out of the industry or how people feel like they could just say whatever to you because you're not human. You're not around.
Yeah. I think like I actually found the painting motif, the use of the whole painting thing to be quite interesting and possibly quite powerful as well.
Well, let's take it to the music. I mean,
Hey.
I was trying to figure out my hit replay for this week, and my wife said, pick this one. It's catchy. I gotta say, like, CL on the chorus, the way her voice comes in, it really just cuts through the music. It provides a really nice counterbalance to all the other vocals that we hear in the song.
Great.
And even though her voice is somewhat synthesized for the song, like it's a stylistic modulation that I really like for the music.
I agree there. I'm not usually a fan of vocal synthesis in this manner, but I think the rest of the vocals are kind of jarring.
Yeah.
Or rough a little bit. So here it's a very nice balance.
I liked it too. Her part here and her delivery reminded me of Rihanna
Yeah.
style. Like she would do that kind of style. She's
Absolutely.
another badass legend figure. So
Something that I wanted out of the music and didn't get, but that's fine as well, is maybe, the song maintains a pretty steady pace. I feel like it doesn't build up to anything and then it doesn't release that tension. But in keeping that pace, I feel like it can start to accumulate tension. I hope this makes sense. Maybe this is something that I feel. And I feel like it does accumulate tension by the end, but it doesn't really release it. So by the end, like I just leave the song feeling a little tense. Not really feeling relaxed or anything.
Well, I'm sure that's on purpose.
If that makes sense.
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Not all songs make you feel all wound up like that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm trying it.
Unresolved conflict. I hate to say it, and I'm seeking beyond my ability here, but the beat and the cadence of the rap complement each other. Like,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like in terms of like each time they say a lyric, as Stephanie's going, it alternates from like the downbeat of the song, so it's like I mean I'm sure it's like rap 101.
Yeah,
I'm clearly
kind of
not
like syncopation and riding the beat.
Yeah,
with the raps. Yeah. It's really fun. It feels like you're on a ride, just bouncing along.
Honestly, I'm not very good at thinking about music terminology either, but it feels like the rap is a little melodic, and that's the kind of rap that I like.
Yeah, it's so easy for you as the listener to hop on. And join it. I mean, especially with all the English in the chorus. Like, I was singing it instantly.
Say what you want now. I agree.
Yeah. Get it?
The emotional delivery from each of them too. I mean, you feel their energy and their frustration.
I'm gonna interrupt you here. I, by the way, was blown away by Mitra here. I feel like his lines are super poetic. There's so much visual imagery in a lot of what he's saying, and he conveys that. Like, the tone he adopted to me felt like it had a lot of disdain for naysayers. Like, that the delivery was so strong. I absolutely loved it. Like, those powerful lyrics, poetic lyrics, contrasted against this kind of disdainful delivery. Oh, I loved it. I think I keep replaying his part. It just sounds so good to my ears.
He is so underrated, and he's super talented.
Yes.
So thanks for shouting him out.
징계들의 울부짖음이 들려온 종일 선 넘은 도발에 넘어갈 땐 뜯겨나가 살점이 어둠 속에 숨어가 춤추는 그 양손이 말 한마디처럼 쉽게 던져준 애가 심한 남은 꽃 한 송이 격 없이 자비 없이 뒤흔들어 봐난 끄떡없지 네가 던진 돌팔 매로 계단 쌓아 벽을 넘은 내 목소린 국경선을 넘지 넌 여전히 내 눈에 먼지 더 남아나 득이 없어 안에 벌짓 평생 공을 들여 탑을 쌓아도 무너뜨릴 세상이지만 또 다시 돌 하나 얹지.
I mean, there's nothing, crazy production-wise that I'm seeing, but it's just
Is there a Spanish feel to it?
I think so with the
in
guitar.
the nylon
right?
guitars, but I mean,
I thought some of the horns as well.
Yeah, the supporting horns, the harmony. I mean, that's why they call it Rosario, I'm sure.
Rosario, yeah. It's just a nice nod to tie those ends together.
I am a legend and I'm here to stay. Get in my way. 바뀌만 하면 다 길이 변해. I pick the way for everyone that is paving the way. 말이 많네. Ain't no one giving up what you say. Moment of silence.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
This is great.
Well, this song, Kpopcast or not, it's Kpopcast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's pretty clear from our discussion.
Yeah.
Have y'all listened to the rest of the album? It's
I haven't
pretty
had
hot.
a chance to yet. I have not had a chance to. So that is my goal for this weekend.
That's your
Listen to
homework.
Epic High. I know, it's like a sin.
Keeping the Christian motif going.
Yeah. I should have listened to it by now. Oh, so wrong. I seek forgiveness. I'm going to listen to it this weekend.
Yeah. I just want to shout out really quick to the first track, I believe, which is Lesson Zero. Lesson Zero is part of Tableau or Epic High's lesson series. Pretty much on every album they do, he releases a track called like Lesson 1, Lesson 2, and I think there's 5. That I know there's 5 because I went back and I listened to them all last night. But these are the tracks where he really goes in on what's wrong with industry, what's wrong with society. He goes in on like capitalism and politics and how we can't trust the government and just like really hard-hitting stuff that honestly you don't see in a lot of hip-hop these days, let alone Korean hip-hop. And so I'm so glad that that they continued with that kind of critique in their rap, like for the whole career. And Lesson Zero, Tableau says, he's learned so much over the years, but right now he's in a phase where he realizes he needs to unlearn. Now. There's so much that he's picked up along the way that he needs to unlearn and let go of. I really like this line where he says, like, no more prophets, no more heroes, like no more idols. Like,
that
those just
interestingly
get us into
fits in
trouble.
with the end of the MV, where it seems like they're, like, despite their taunts, kind of recognizing their limitations. Interesting.
Yes.
Interestingly, Tablo was heading the indie sub-label for YG Entertainment until I think it was like the summer or something. And then he said, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm going to focus on my album. So it's going along with that of, hey, I'm going to unlearn this.
Yes. Oh God. Whoever spent time with YG needs to unlearn a lot.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. Well, this was part 1, y'all. Stay tuned for part 2.
Yeah. Part 2 of the Epic High Is Here album. We'll be here before we know it.
So wrapping up, signing off, where can our listeners find each of you online, on Twitter, or your socials, or whatever it is that you want to plug? Mimi, we'll hand it to you first.
Sure. So my Twitter is @_PAYODHI, Payodhi, which is, yeah, it's my obsession with BTS speaking. I don't think you need a whole link that
So
I've drawn.
curious.
I'm at DJ Peter Lowe.
And I'm at S Parker too.
I'm also going to include a quick plug for Soul Beats, guys.
Oh, please.
Check us out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Go find all of Rimi's articles on Soulbeats.
Soulbeats.com. We do critical reviews. Please check us out.
Very critical. That's what we like about you. No, not
Yeah,
just
only we
fluff
take a bit
pieces.
of time to get them out, but yeah.
No, seriously, like, I have not seen K-pop editorial anywhere else. So the fact that there's a concerted effort for that makes Soul Beats a
Necessary.
yes. Yeah,
Critical
Thank
in
you.
these times.
especially. Come on, K-pop fans, you want to grow up? Read Soul Beats.
Dang. Time to grow up.
Yeah. You can find all of us at the Kpopcast at the Kpopcast on Twitter. And if you want to get to know us better, come make some new friends, you can join us in our Kpopcast Slack. You can find a link to that place in the description of this episode.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share with all your friends.
Woohoo! Thank you for having me again.
Thank you, Rimi.
Thank you so much, Rimi. That was so fun.
Man, I'm just like, whenever there's a moment of silence, what I hear in my head are the horns, the guitar, and the bass of the song just on loop. It's so hypnotic. It's not gonna
It
leave my
is.
head.
Is it an anthemic style? That's what it's called. I think it does it really well.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like CL's chorus. It's haunting and it's there in your mind. It's so well done.
I'm gonna go listen to it again.
Okay. All right. Well,
All right.
we'll stop recording here.
Stop recording.
Yeah, Soul Beats is so cool.
They've been
Love
around
this.
for a minute.
A minute? Stephanie.
Okay. You don't know that expression, Peter? A minute actually means a very long time, like years.
Okay.
It's a slang expression.
I'm glad you keep me hip.
Someone's got to do it.